There are places in the world that are so difficult to enter, they feel like they are completely off limits to outsiders. Whether due to strict government restrictions, remote locations, or extreme environments, these countries are among the hardest to visit. Today, we'll explore 10 countries that are almost impossible to visit, extreme travel challenges, breaking down what makes these destinations so difficult to access. Stay until the end to discover the toughest country to enter, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the bell icon for more amazing travel content. 10. Tristan da Cunha, the hardest place on Earth to reach. Tristan da Cunha is the most remote inhabited island on Earth, located in the middle of the South Atlantic Ocean, over 2,400 kilometers from the nearest landmass, South Africa. The island is home to just 250 residents, who mostly live in the only settlement, Edinburgh of the Seven Seas. Getting to Tristan da Cunha is a challenge. There is no airport, and the only way to visit is by boat. The island is accessible only via a 6-day voyage on a cargo ship from South Africa, with departures occurring just a few times a year. Visitors must apply for special permission from the local government before arriving. Despite its isolation, the island is a fascinating place, with volcanic landscapes, unique wildlife, and a self-sufficient farming community. If you love adventure and extreme destinations, Tristan da Cunha is the ultimate challenge. 9. Angola, a visa nightmare in Africa. Angola is one of the most difficult African countries to visit, mainly due to its extremely strict visa process. The country, rich in oil and natural resources, has limited tourism infrastructure and prefers to keep foreign visitors out unless they have business interests. Applying for an Angolan tourist visa is notoriously difficult, with high rejection rates and complex paperwork. Many travellers report needing letters of invitation, bank statements, and proof of accommodation, and even then, approvals are not guaranteed. The visa fees are also expensive, discouraging many tourists from applying. Those who do manage to enter Angola can explore its breathtaking landscapes, including the stunning Calandula Falls, the surreal Namib Desert, and vibrant Luanda nightlife. However, political instability, high crime rates, and lack of infrastructure make Angola a challenging and costly place to visit. 8. Equatorial Guinea, the African nation that rejects tourists. Equatorial Guinea is one of the least visited and most secretive countries in Africa. Despite having beautiful beaches, lush rainforests, and rare wildlife, the government has little interest in tourism and has made it almost impossible to visit. Securing a visa is extremely difficult, often requiring government connections or unofficial payments, also known as bribes. Even if a visa is granted, tourists must be careful with photography, as authorities often arrest visitors for taking pictures, even of normal street scenes. Travelling around Equatorial Guinea is also complicated and expensive. Hotels and transportation are overpriced, and visitors report frequent police stops, passport checks, and interrogations. Despite its natural beauty, the country's bureaucratic hurdles and restrictive rules make it one of the hardest places in Africa to visit. 7. Pitcairn Islands, the most isolated settlement on Earth. The Pitcairn Islands, a tiny British overseas territory in the Pacific, are home to just 50 people, mostly descendants of the mutineers from HMS Bounty in 1790. This tiny community is one of the most remote places on Earth, making it incredibly difficult to visit. There are no airports or regular commercial transportation. The only way to reach Pitcairn is by hitching a ride on a supply ship from New Zealand, which takes 2 days and only sails a few times a year. Visitors must apply for special permission and bring their own food and supplies, as the island has no hotels, restaurants, or major stores. Despite its remoteness, Pitcairn offers rugged cliffs, unique wildlife, and a fascinating history. However, its extreme isolation makes it one of the hardest travel destinations in the world. Six, Somalia. Extreme dangers and no infrastructure. Somalia is often considered one of the most dangerous places in the world, making it extremely difficult to visit. Decades of civil war, terrorism and piracy have made Somalia a no-go zone for most tourists. The US and several European governments strongly advise against travelling here. Those who dare to visit must hire private security and armed escorts for protection. The country lacks a proper tourism industry, and independent travel is nearly impossible due to the risks of kidnapping, terrorism and violence. Even journalists and aid workers face extreme challenges. However, Somalia's culture, ancient history and stunning beaches remain intriguing. Places like Mogadishu's Lido Beach and Las Gil's prehistoric cave paintings offer glimpses of a nation with untapped beauty. But until political stability and safety improve, Somalia will remain one of the most dangerous and inaccessible countries on Earth. Five, Saudi Arabia, a land of strict entry rules. For decades, Saudi Arabia was one of the hardest countries to visit as it did not issue tourist visas. Until 2019, the only way for non-Muslims to enter was through business, work or special invitation visas. Even today, some areas remain completely off-limits, including Mecca and Medina, which are strictly forbidden to non-Muslims. Saudi Arabia now offers tourist visas, but strict rules still apply. Travellers must dress conservatively, follow local customs, and be aware of severe penalties for breaking laws, including public displays of affection or alcohol consumption. Women travellers used to need male guardianship for many activities, though this has relaxed in recent years. Despite the restrictions, Saudi Arabia has incredible historical and natural wonders, such as Al Ula's ancient tombs, the Red Sea coast, and futuristic cities like Neom. However, for many travellers, the country's conservative laws and controlled access make it a difficult place to visit. Four, Nauru, the least visited country in the world. Nauru, a tiny island nation in the Pacific Ocean, is officially the least visited country in the world, with fewer than 200 tourists per year. Despite its beautiful coastline, Nauru has almost no tourism industry, no major attractions, and very limited infrastructure. One of the biggest challenges in visiting Nauru is simply getting there. There are no embassies issuing visas, and flights to Nauru are extremely rare, with only a few routes operated by Nauru Airlines from Australia, Fiji and Kiribati. The island also lacks hotels, public transport and tour operators, making travel extremely difficult. Nauru's economy was once booming due to phosphate mining, but after the resources were depleted, the country fell into economic decline. Today, Nauru is one of the least developed and least visited countries in the world, making it a true hidden destination for extreme travellers. Three, Bhutan, the $250 per day country. Bhutan is often called the happiest country in the world, but visiting comes at a high price. The government enforces a mandatory tourism fee of $200 to $250 per day per person, which includes accommodation, transportation, food and a local guide. This fee is designed to preserve Bhutan's culture and environment by preventing mass tourism. Independent travel is not allowed. All visitors must book their trips through an official tour operator and follow a strict itinerary. Even though the daily fee includes many costs, it still makes Bhutan one of the most expensive destinations for tourists. However, for those willing to pay, Bhutan offers stunning Himalayan landscapes, ancient monasteries, and a peaceful, spiritual way of life. Landmarks like Tiger's Nest Monastery and the Punakha Dzong provide unforgettable experiences. While Bhutan's exclusivity protects its culture, it also makes it one of the hardest countries to visit for budget travelers. 2. Turkmenistan, the North Korea of Central Asia. Turkmenistan is one of the most closed-off and least visited countries in the world, often compared to North Korea due to its strict government control over tourism. To visit, travelers must apply for a visa and be part of a guided tour at all times. Independent travel is not allowed. Even with an official tour, the government randomly rejects visa applications with no explanation. Once inside, visitors experience a bizarre, futuristic capital city, Ashgabat, filled with marble palaces, golden statues of the former president, and empty grand avenues. Some of the country's biggest attractions, like the Darvaza gas crater, the door to hell, showcase its otherworldly landscapes. However, heavy surveillance, strict rules on photography, and the constant presence of government guides make travelling in Turkmenistan feel restrictive. With few tourists allowed, it remains one of the most mysterious and difficult countries to visit. 1. North Korea, the most secretive country on Earth. North Korea is the hardest country in the world to visit, with extreme government restrictions, strict surveillance, and limited access for foreigners. Only a few thousand tourists visit each year, mostly from China and Russia. US and South Korean citizens are completely banned from entry. Tourists can only enter through approved guided tours, where government minders control every aspect of the trip. There is no independent travel, and visitors are forbidden from speaking to locals freely, taking unauthorized photos, or wandering away from their guides. Even using local currency is not allowed. Despite the restrictions, North Korea offers a surreal experience, with visits to places like Pyongyang's massive propaganda-filled streets, the DMZ border zone, and the Mansu Hill Grand Monument. However, the country's secrecy, lack of freedom, and risks of detainment make it the most challenging place to visit on Earth. From remote islands to totalitarian regimes, extreme deserts to hidden kingdoms, these are the hardest places on Earth to visit. Whether due to government restrictions, visa nightmares, or sheer remoteness, these countries remain off-limits to most travellers. Would you ever try to visit one of these extreme destinations? Let us know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss out on more fascinating travel content. See you in the next video.